Warren Buffett is often referred to as the sage of Omaha because of his incredible success at value investing. On average, his returns have been more than 20% per year over more than 5 decades of investing. This is unmatched on Wall Street, so it can pay to watch Buffett's stock moves. In the last few months, Buffett, through Berkshire Hathaway, has been busy selling health and pharma stocks from his portfolio. 4 of the 10 biggest percentage reductions in Berkshire's portfolio are biotech companies. Because this is not typical for Buffett, perhaps we should take a look. One of the stocks that Buffett has trimmed is AbbVie Inc. Berkshire Hathaway owned more than 20 million shares of AbbVie at the end of June 2021. This position was worth over $2.3 billion. Berkshire has sold off about 11% of its position when compared to the first quarter of 2021. The sales came at about the same time that investment advisory firm Cowen kept an outperform rating on AbbVie and even raised the price target from $120 per share to $130 per share. With the stock well priced given the long-term visibility of pipeline drugs, why is Buffett selling? We likely won't get an answer to the fundamental reasons, but we can take a look at the charts. So, let's do exactly that. And we're now taking a look at a monthly chart on AbbVie Inc. and the symbol is ABBV. For disclosure purposes, I do not hold any shares of AbbVie at this time. And going back to 2013, from that point there all the way through here, it's been a relatively decent run, with the exception we had that top there, and then we had a pretty decent decline all the way through here, a little recovery, and then a move on up, and we're now at $119.68. So at least by the price chart, we're moving on up. We haven't reached the previous high, but that could be one of the, say, yellow flags in that when a price moves on up to a prior high, there is a tendency for a double top and then another decline. And I doubt Buffett is looking at that for a reason to sell the stock, but it is showing up in the price chart nonetheless. Volume looks fine. Moving on down here into the MAC, we can see that prior high there in early 2018, the decline, and then the base and recovery and moving on up. You see that we're continuing to accelerate on up, and we're at a moderate 8.182 and then a 6.357 there. It still looks decent. It looks like there's more room to run. And you can see in the histogram, though, that the acceleration is kind of leveling off here, unlike back here where it continued on to that peak there. I think this current run is actually more healthy. Moving on down here into the price rate of change, probably one of the mixed signals we're going to get here is the fast line sawtooth up to that level. It's only at this level here and heading on down, so perhaps there's a bit of a topping process there. Moving down into the relative strength, we're at 75.14. It has a nice move on up here. It still looks like it's accelerating. We're not quite into that overbought territory above that 80 level, but it is continuing on up and might get there here pretty soon. Into the stochastics, you can see that we are in the overbought territory here with a little reflection on up here, and we're at a similar level that we were back here at that top, and then perhaps a previous top back there in 2014 or so. So perhaps there is a potential for a topping process here. This is not a bad point to sell a stock if you at least held it from that level there. But can't really say yet. We'll have to wait another month or two to see if something happens where the fast line dives below the slow line and then the decline continues on down. Here into the Williams, looks fine. Nice strength up here. So this isn't looking like it's turning over yet either. So really only a few signals there in the price rate of change. And maybe you could say the histogram is perhaps showing a little bit of tiredness But I would say that the MAC still continues on up, and the price chart, though, is perhaps the only other yellow flag and the potential double top. So right now, the signals are mixed, but Buffett said, let's exit at least out of a portion of the portfolio out of prudency. And that's what we should always be, is prudent and patient. And for today, that's ChewDog Charts. Thank you.